Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Boy in a Tree, and on this channel I talk about my first book, Joshua Tree, and then the sequel, Joshua Tree Finds Peace. And today I'm going to be talking about, well, we left off in, when I was in the bathtub, you know, like half naked. I left off on part 2, 6, 7, and 8. So that's where obviously I'm going to continue on here. I'll give you a visual. Whoop. 6, 7, and 8. That's where we left off. Yeah, obviously I'm going to continue on, which I'm just going to be talking about chapters 17 through 19. Going to keep it kind of short today, just talk about 3 chapters, and just skim my way through them, just talk about them generally, summarize them. And so the reason why also it's called 6, 7, and 8 is because of a character that I'm not talking about in these chapters yet. He comes in later on soon, but we'd actually technically already met him. He's Indian, but that's all we kind of know. So we learn a lot, and 6, 7, and 8 have to do with him. Those numbers, they actually have. There's kind of a weird thing about that, but I'll go on. I'll talk about that in another video. We don't really meet him. We don't actually truly meet him in these chapters yet. So talking chapters 17 through 19. So where we leave off, or where we start off in chapter 17 is well, with Lizzie at the age of 10. So we do a bit of a flashback. She's 10, she's watching Joshua Tree play baseball. And Joshua Tree is also a 10-year-old kid at this time too. And yeah, she's being a bit of a stalker. She's hiding behind a tree, watching him play some baseball. Tree is playing baseball with just some other boys. And Lizzie is watching them because, well, she has a plan that she's trying to execute. And how she's trying to execute that plan is, well, she has this power that I haven't really ever talked about. She has this power to manipulate emotions, and she just kind of uses that to execute this plan that she's trying to do. And yeah, I've never really talked about the powers that Joshua Tree has, really. I feel like I might have slightly mentioned them, but it's Lizzie actually has this power too, controlling these force fields, basically these green force fields that he can create, but Joshua Tree just doesn't totally understand how to use them. He got these powers in the first book. He also has the power to like camouflage into objects, just like, you know, just disappear, kind of like this kind of shirt, just whoosh, you know. He has the power of camouflage. He can also fade through objects too. So he has these powers. He just doesn't know how to exactly use them. And I feel like I've only briefly mentioned these powers. I'll try and talk about them more, maybe another video. But anyway, so he has these powers. Lizzie has the power of force field and manipulating powers. Manipulating emotions, sorry. So yeah, so she's trying to do that. She's using that power for a reason. She's manipulating someone's emotions to kind of not like Joshua Tree. So that's it. That's generally what happens in chapter 17. So chapter 18, we're still 10 years ago, about 10 years ago. But this time now we meet up with Jonathan, who is meeting Caitlin for the first time, his wife. This is where they first meet. Jonathan is actually with this kid, George. He's a redhead. I don't know, that doesn't really matter. That's just, he's a redhead. George is a redhead. He meets up. They're having like kind of a double date. There's another girl, I can't remember her name. It was Alex. Alex, yeah. They are meeting up with Alex and Alex's friend, Caitlin. And they're meeting Caitlin for the first time. And so Jonathan sees Caitlin. Caitlin sees Jonathan. They say hi. They make eye contact. Sparks. they fall in love from first sight. So yeah, so that's when Jonathan first meets Caitlin. Then we flash forward to Alistair, who, if you remember, I've talked about this in the other videos, he's outside the hospital while it's raining and everything, and he floats up to one of the floors, and he breaks into the hospital. And he actually broke into Caitlin's room because Caitlin, now flash forward, she has cancer. I can't remember exactly what cancer. I think it's either lung or breast. I can't remember right now. I have to refresh my memory on that. But she has cancer, and Alistair breaks into her room, and he rudely wakes her up like the demon he is, because Alistair is a demon and he's a dick. and he rudely wakes up Caitlyn. And yeah, that's how chapter 18 ends. So now the last chapter that I'm talking about today is chapter 19. Okay, so chapter 19, a good one. So we left off in the last video talking about how Kate Iris was kissing Joshua Tree. Well, Joshua Tree was kissing Kate Iris. Get it right. And like I said, it's not really a good thing. Kate Iris, I feel like Kate Iris is maybe a tiny bit curious too of what he was doing, and then Joshua just kind of went for it, and she was curious about it, but it's not what Kate Iris needs. It's a beautiful moment in Joshua Tree's head. He's kissing her. There's a light that's actually shining behind them, there's a reason why there's a light shining on them, but there's actually a light shining on them. I think it's slightly raining, or it's just like at least misty, you know, it's beautiful. But Kate Iris, it's not what she wants. She punches him in the stomach and pushes him away. And she has supernatural strength too, so he goes flying down the road. So yeah, the beautiful moment is just not as beautiful as you thought it'd be. Real life, am I right? So, okay, so moving on, so that happens. Kate Iris, because of the curse on her soul, because I feel like I never really mentioned that this curse, I might have slightly mentioned it, but this curse pushes Kate Iris to kill Joshua Tree. And that's because of Nicholas the Angel. He's pushing Kate Iris to kill Joshua Tree, and that's what this curse, it's like a feature that he basically put in this curse. It just pushes Kate Iris to kill Joshua Tree. So she goes to go kill Joshua Tree. I don't know why I just repeated that a million times. And Lizzie is nearby, and she contains Kate Iris with her force field powers, and just kind of contains Kate Iris. She contains her. And Joshua Tree is shocked because that's the first time that he sees Lizzie use the force field powers, which he knows that he has, but he just can't control it as well as obviously that she can, because she just did it. So he's just kind of shocked about that. And then Jonathan comes out from the van, and that's why there was a light shining on Kate Iris and Joshua Tree, because Jonathan brought the van over, because he was in the van, so he just drove it over and then he parked it on the road, and that's why there was a light shining on them. He brought the van over. So Jonathan comes out. Then Kate Iris, let's just move this along. Kate Iris breaks out of this force field that Lizzie uses to hold her. She breaks out. Lizzie goes flying after Kate Iris, because Kate Iris can fly. Lizzie can't fly naturally. She wraps herself in a force field, almost like Green Lantern, how he has the ring, covers him in the force field, and then he goes flying. That's what Lizzie does, covers herself perfectly in a force field, and she goes flying after Kate Iris. So they go off and have an epic fight in the sky. But so then meanwhile on the road, Jonathan's kids appear down the road in front of Joshua Tree and Jonathan. And Jonathan freaks out. He yells, scares Joshua Tree. But Joshua Tree looks down and he sees the kids. And if you remember, I talked about this in the other video. A boy showed up for Jean Tree and told her to go to the hospital. And then a little girl showed up for Kate Iris and told Kate Iris to go to the hospital. Well, these were actually Jonathan's kids. They were possessed by Alistair, the demon of the story, the dick. They were possessed by Alistair, and he uses them basically as his little messengers, and tells, Jean Tree and Kate Iris to go to the hospital. And now they're telling Jonathan that Alistair has their mom, Caitlyn, and tells them to go to the hospital too. So of course Jonathan freaks out, and he's gonna go run into the hospital also, because Alistair has his plan of trying to get everybody in one place. And yeah, so that's just generally, that's it. That's how chapter 19 basically ends. Obviously I'm gonna continue on in another video, and yeah, we find out more what happens. Yeah, that's where we leave off. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video of me talking about Joshua Tree Finds Peace, and, well, the story of Joshua Tree. You can obviously buy these videos. You can obviously buy these books in the link down below. I really appreciate that. And, yeah, stay connected. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.